You've tried harder than most people ever will. Stricter diets, longer workouts, more discipline, and that belly fat is still there. So let me ask you something uncomfortable. What if the problem was never your effort? What if you've been doing everything right and losing because of something you can't see, can't feel, and nobody ever told you about? Here's the truth that changes everything. Your body has a built-in fat burning switch, a natural biological mechanism hardwired into your hormonal system designed to dissolve stored fat around the clock automatically. And right now, that switch is off. Not because you're broken, because one hormone running on a disrupted rhythm has been silently overriding every good decision you've made. The strangest part? The country that figured this out decades ago eats white rice every single day and still has one of the lowest obesity rates on the planet. In this video, you're going to discover the precise hormonal mechanism that's been keeping your fat-burning switch locked in the OF position, and the 5-step Japanese protocol that reactivates it starting tomorrow morning. No extreme diets, no punishing training sessions, just 5 targeted daily resets, backed by science, that work with your biology instead of against it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do and exactly why it works. You've been doing the work. The early mornings, the clean plates, the gym sessions you didn't skip, and that stubborn belly fat is still exactly where it was 6 months ago. That's not failure. That's a sign you've been fighting the wrong enemy. Here's what nobody told you. Your body already has a built-in fat-burning switch, a biological mechanism designed to dissolve stored fat, including the deep, dangerous kind sitting around your organs, automatically, around the clock. But something invisible has been holding that switch locked in the off position for years. That something isn't your metabolism. It isn't your genetics, your age, or the number of calories on your plate. It's a hormone, one that's been silently running the show inside your body every single day. And once you understand what it's been doing to you, everything you thought you knew about fat loss is going to look completely different. The real enemy has a name. Japanese longevity researchers call it Cortisol no Mitter, cortisol disorder. And while most of the Western world was obsessed with counting calories and cutting fat, Japanese scientists were studying something far more important: the precise daily rhythm of cortisol and what happens to your body when that rhythm breaks. What they found explains everything. Cortisol isn't inherently bad. In a healthy body, it follows a clean arc. It peaks sharply after waking to give you energy, then gradually falls through the day, reaching its lowest point at night so your body can repair and burn fat while you sleep. That's the design. But when the curve gets disrupted, spiking at the wrong hours, staying elevated when it should drop, crashing when it should hold, your fat cells receive a constant signal to stay locked shut. This is cortisol dysrhythmia, not just high stress, not just a bad night's sleep, a broken hormonal pattern that runs quietly in the background, day after day, telling every fat cell in your body, especially the visceral fat packed around your organs, that now is not the time to release energy. The switch stays off, and no amount of cardio or clean eating can override a hormonal instruction that powers. Step 1. The morning lock, the cortisol diurnal curve reset. Your cortisol curve is governed by one signal above all others. The moment you wake up, every single morning, your brain logs your wake time, and it uses that data to calibrate the entire hormonal arc for the day. When cortisol peaks, when it falls, and whether your body gets a fat-burning window at all. Disrupt that signal, and the whole curve shifts out of alignment. The fix is simpler than you think, and more powerful than any supplement you've ever tried. Wake up within the same 20-minute window every day. Not just on weekdays, every day. That consistency sends a precise biological cue that resets the cortisol rhythm from the very first minute of your morning, restoring the natural peak and drop pattern your fat-burning metabolism depends on. Set your alarm for the same time tomorrow, and don't move it on weekends. Within 7 to 10 days of consistent wake times, your body will start producing cortisol at the right moment, and dropping it at the right moment, opening the fat-burning window you've been unknowingly keeping closed. It costs you nothing. It changes everything. Control your morning. Control your body. Most people treat morning drinks as a preference, flavor, habit, comfort. But what you put in your body within the first hour after waking is actually a direct hormonal instruction, and the wrong choice can spike cortisol before your day has even started. The right choice does the exact opposite. Matcha green tea contains a concentrated dose of catechins, most importantly, a compound called EGCG. Here's why that matters. EGCG simultaneously blunts excess cortisol and activates an enzyme called ATGL, the primary fat-burning enzyme responsible for unlocking stored fat and releasing it as usable energy. And it does all of this without triggering an insulin response. No spike, no crash, no cortisol rebound. Just a clean, targeted signal that tells your body to open the fat-burning switch and keep it open. The application is precise. Within 60 to 90 minutes after waking, after your water, before any food, prepare 1 cup of high-quality matcha using half a teaspoon of ceremonial-grade powder whisked into 80 milliliters of hot water, never boiling. No sweeteners, no milk, nothing that interferes with the catechin pathway. 1 cup, every morning, done consistently. This single ritual stacks directly on top of your less cortisol, more burn. Step 3. The glucose guard, the glycemic cortisol rebound trap. You did everything right this morning. You had your matcha. Your cortisol curve is finally moving in the right direction. And then, a few hours later, something flips it back. Not stress, not bad sleep, a blood sugar crash. And it happens faster than you'd ever expect. Here's the mechanism. When you go too long between meals, or eat something that spikes and crashes your blood sugar, a refined snack, a sugary drink, even a healthy low-fat bar, your body reads that glucose drop as an emergency, adrenaline fires, and right behind it, cortisol surges to pull stored glucose back into the bloodstream. Within minutes of your fat-burning switch turning on, that cortisol spike flips it back off. The progress you built in the morning gets erased by a single blood sugar crash in the afternoon. The fix is about structure, not perfection. Eat every 3 to 4 hours and build each meal a practical anchor. If you feel a sudden energy dip, a craving for something sweet, or a drop in focus between meals, that's your cortisol spiking in response to falling blood sugar. That's your signal. Catch it early, and you protect the entire fat-burning window you worked all morning to open. Stable sugar, open switch. Step 4. The long walk advantage, zone 2 movement, and cortisol curve flattening. When most people think fat loss, they think intensity. Harder, faster, more. And if your cortisol is already dysregulated, that instinct is working directly against you. High-intensity training is a physiological stressor, and a stressed body pumps out cortisol. Push too hard, and you don't accelerate fat burning. You deepen the hormonal imbalance that's been blocking it all along. This is the exercise-stress paradox, and it's why the Japanese approach to daily movement looks nothing like a Western fitness program. The preference isn't for punishment, it's for long, unhurried, low-intensity walking, what exercise scientists classify as zone 2 movement, the effort level where you can hold a full conversation, but would genuinely prefer not to. The hormonal ceiling lowers, fat oxidation climbs, and your body stays in the burning state rather than the surviving state. The target is 30 to 45 minutes of brisk, continuous walking, outdoors when possible, ideally in the morning or early afternoon before cortisol naturally rises again in the late day. You don't need a gym. You don't need equipment. You need forward motion and enough effort to feel warm but not breathless. Do this daily, and within 2 weeks you'll notice something the scale won't show you: a steadiness. Less afternoon fatigue. Fewer cravings. A body that's running on fat, not fear. Move gently. Burn deeply. Step 5. The sunset switch. The cortisol serotonin evening handoff. Everything you've built during the day. The cortisol reset. The matcha protocol. The stable blood sugar. The long walk. Can be quietly dismantled in a single overstimulated evening. Most people don't lose their fat-burning window at breakfast. They lose it at 9 p.m., scrolling through their phone under bright lights, cortisol climbing back up when it should be bottoming out. The evening isn't downtime. It's the final hormonal instruction of the day. Here's what needs to happen after sunset. Cortisol must hand off to serotonin. That transition is what opens your overnight fat-burning window, the hours when your body finally has permission to access stored fat for repair and energy. But bright artificial light, digital stimulation, heated conversations, and late-night eating all interrupt that handoff. They keep cortisol elevated past the point of no return, and the window closes before it ever opens. The protocol is deliberate and specific. After 8 p.m., dim the lights in your home or switch to warm amber lighting. Put your phone face down at least 60 minutes before sleep. Choose calm over stimulation, a quiet conversation, light stretching, slow breathing, or simply sitting in silence for 10 minutes. If you eat in the evening, finish your last meal at least 2 hours before bed, and keep it light on refined carbs. This isn't about being rigid. It's about sending one final signal to your nervous system. The day is done, it's safe to let go, and tonight your body gets to burn. End calm. Burn overnight. 5 steps, 1 unbreakable daily arc, and a body that finally has permission to burn. Step 1. The morning lock. Wake within the same 20-minute window every day. No exceptions, no weekends off. That single act of consistency resets your cortisol diurnal curve and opens the fat-burning window before you've done anything else. Step 2. The matcha protocol. Within 60 to 90 minutes of waking, drink 1 cup of pure ceremonial matcha. No sweeteners, no milk. EGCG blunts cortisol excess and activates ATGL, the enzyme that unlocks stored fat, without touching your insulin. Step 3. the glucose guard. Eat every 3 to 4 hours, built around protein, fiber, and healthy fat. Prevent the blood sugar crashes that trigger emergency cortisol surges and flip your fat-burning switch back off mid-afternoon. Step 4. The long walk advantage. 30 to 45 minutes of Zone 2, walking, warm but never breathless, every single day. No gym required. Just forward motion at the intensity that lowers your cortisol ceiling instead of raising it. Step 5. The sunset switch. After 8 p.m., dim the lights, put the phone down, and protect the cortisol to serotonin handoff that opens your overnight fat-burning window. The evening is the final instruction. Make it count. This is the Japanese cortisol balance protocol, 5 daily resets that work as a system, each one building on the last. All 5 steps, 1 day at a time. Simple, proven, unstoppable. If you feel like your body is constantly stuck in alert mode, with poor sleep, fatigue, untimely hunger, and stubborn abdominal fat, I've prepared the complete cortisol reset bundle. Inside, you'll receive the main guide, the cortisol reset, plus 2 bonuses: low nighttime cortisol protocol and cortisol, insulin, and abdominal fat. The link is in the description.